There are several factors involved in the control of urine production, and not just the control of how much urine, but also what is excreted in the urine. We mentioned how if you eat excess salt, your kidneys can get rid of some of that extra sodium. If you uh, drink too much water, your kidneys can get rid of the extra water. And so let's take a look at some of the things that influence not only the volume, but also the concentration and the composition of the urine. So first of all, we talked about antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, back when we talked about the endocrine system. And this is a hormone secreted by the posterior pituitary. Remember, the pituitary is a gland that is located just inferior to the hypothalamus of the brain. And whenever you're dehydrated, your body is stimulated to release ADH. So antidiuretic. So a diuretic is something that makes you pee more and get rid of more water. So an antidiuretic is something that is going to make you reabsorb or keep more of that water in your blood. So when you're dehydrated, ADH is released, and ADH triggers the kidneys to reabsorb more water. The more water that's reabsorbed and kept in the blood, that means less urine is produced, but the urine that's produced is more concentrated because you still have these waste products and solutes that you're trying to get out of your body, but you're transporting it out of your body with less water. So basically, ADH increases how much water you keep in your body, and so you pee less, but your pee is going to be more concentrated. Your kidneys can also help to maintain the pH of your body fluids. So if the pH of the filtrate is too acidic, meaning that the pH number is too low, more hydrogen ions can be excreted because pH is really just a measure of the amount of hydrogen ions that are in a solution. If the filtrate is too alkaline, meaning that the pH number is too high, then less hydrogen ions can be excreted and more can be reabsorbed into the body. Now, there's a big trend right now going on having to do with alkaline water. So you can pay top dollar to buy alkaline water. And the claim is that it alkalizes your body fluids, which is supposedly healthier for you. But I can tell you that it's a waste of money because if you drink more alkaline, let's say you drink alkaline water, if your pH starts to get too high, your kidneys are going to adjust in order to maintain the pH of your body fluids where it needs to be. So your kidneys as long as your kidneys are functioning properly, they're doing a really good job of maintaining a homeostatic pH level in your body. So you don't need to drink alkaline water. In fact, a lot of the things that we drink are actually fairly acidic. So things like coffee, soda, juice, tea, all of these things are really acidic. But it doesn't make our body fluids acidic because our kidneys can just get rid of the extra hydrogen and excrete it out of our body. And so all it means is that if you drink acidic stuff, your pee is going to be more acidic because your body's going to try to get rid of that acid. If you drink alkaline stuff, like alkaline water, your pee is going to be less acidic and more alkaline. But it doesn't matter what the pH of your urine is. What matters is the pH of your blood and your extracellular fluid. And so drinking alkaline water isn't going to affect that because your kidneys they do a good job of maintaining that normal pH level for you. The kidneys also help to maintain a homeostatic blood pressure level. So if your blood pressure gets too low, your kidneys are going to increase water reabsorption. And this primarily happens through hormones and some other feedback mechanisms. But the main takeaway here is that if the kidneys reabsorb more water, that means that more water is getting pulled back into the blood. If the volume of the blood increases, it increases the pressure of the blood pushing on the inside of the blood vessel walls. So if you increase blood volume, you increase blood pressure. Now, think about how that is going to affect urine then. Because if you're reabsorbing more water and putting it in the blood, that means that less of that water is going to be excreted as urine. So, if your blood pressure is too low, your body reabsorbs the water, you're going to make less urine, and it's going to be more concentrated because you're going to have less water being excreted in the urine, but you still have the solutes being excreted. So you're increasing the concentration of the stuff that's in the urine. And if your blood pressure is too high, your kidneys can do the opposite. So it can decrease water reabsorption so that you pee more of it out. That decreases your blood volume, which decreases your blood pressure. That would increase your urine volume and decrease the concentration of the urine. Now, it's really important for the the fluids in your body to be maintained at a certain level of osmolarity. So osmolarity is just a measure of solute concentration, and solute includes things like sodium, potassium, glucose, and other stuff that is either dissolved or suspended in the plasma of your blood or other body fluids. Ideally, your body fluid should be isotonic, meaning that the fluid outside the cells and the fluid inside the cells should have the same concentration. So iso means same. So if you have the same concentration of solutes inside the cells and outside the cells, it means that you don't have a net movement of water. So it means that the cells are healthy and doing what they should be doing. However, if your body fluids become hypertonic, hyper means too much. So hypertonic means that your body fluids become too concentrated. So this happens primarily when you become dehydrated. So when you become dehydrated, you have less water in your body fluids, but you still have the same amount of solutes. And so the osmolarity increases. And water is able to move across the cell membrane by a process called osmosis. So, for example, if you get dehydrated and you've now lost water from the plasma in the blood, the plasma is now becoming too concentrated compared to what's going on inside the cells. So that water is going to leave the cells because it's going to try to even out those concentrations. But in doing so, you can see the red blood cells here have shriveled. And shriveled red blood cells don't function properly. So if you become too dehydrated to the point where your red blood cells can't transport oxygen efficiently, it can kill you. Now, if you had too much water in your body fluids, then the osmolarity or the concentration of the blood plasma might be too low. And in that case, the water might actually rush into the red blood cells, and that would cause the cells to balloon up and potentially burst open like a water balloon. And that's called lysis when it bursts open. And this is also not good because if the red blood cells are too big, they might clog up some small capillaries. And if they explode, they're definitely not going to be able to carry oxygen efficiently through your bloodstream. Thankfully, having hypotonic body fluids it's pretty uncommon as long as your kidneys are working properly. And that's because if you drink excess water, you're just going to pee more. And that's your kidney's way of trying to prevent your body fluids from becoming hypotonic. More likely, you are going to become dehydrated, which would make your body fluids hypertonic, which would cause your cells to shrivel up. And so this is a much more serious I don't want to say more serious, but this is a more common problem associated with osmolaria and the kidneys.